months, we can get a year and a half out. We tried to keep this part of the meeting moving. And where we get requests for like announcements, like Tim and I just talk about data centers. It's kind of that, but he'll do those kind of announcements at breakout rather than
right, because, well, yes, it'd be great to get some scout volunteers for it. Trying to post two-day camp.
I'm trying.
Check
Wait,
1, 2,
wait.
3,
I
4,
might, maybe
5, 6.
here. Hold on, I might have it.
Just real quick. I know you're busy. Just real quick. How do you want me to do this? Do you want me to hand these to you and you just have them? Because you're doing religious stuff.
No, I'm not. Kyle is.
Okay.
I pawned it off on Kyle.
Is Kyle here?
He's right there at the table.
Which table? Oh, with by himself.
Right.
Okay, I'll go see what he wants to do. Thank you.
Yep.
the restocking plan is not.
Got it.
Did you get my little note?
Yes, I did, and we will take care of it.
Okay.
Oh, there he is. Found Ashley. He's behind.
Scout Stream Live, Cub Stream has a thing that basically says we'll be live when we break out until the Scout Stream. That's victory. We don't often get both of them at the same time.
So far this week, I have been to the dance recital, fire concert, and tomorrow I'm back up here after work to go to wrestling.
I said, don't worry, I got it.
You wait for hours.
Sometimes, yeah. It depends. We had our wrestling tournament last weekend, a little state tournament. She ended up getting 3 matches out of it, but yeah, we sat for a little while.
What's happening over here? Hey, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for coming up.
Yes. That's right.
Yeah. You guys did some calls and
Yeah, calls. And I feel like that went really well. I don't think it went too bad. There's like a little bit renewed and then more people just don't know what to do.
yeah, we get the message. Well, I was going to the holiday party thing, and I'm see if I'm getting short on my donations. So I'm going through my checkbook, and I'm going to the credit cards. I'm like, oh, yeah, this year. I took care of that.
Okay. Very
I
good.
took care of that. Yes. Dave and all. I gave it to you. Sports break.
Brad Disher here.
No, Brad's not going to be here tonight.
Sports breakfast is good this year. I'm excited for Garibaldi.
What?
He finally has a season where he's not holding everybody.
Who?
You know? Question. Master of hold.
Kyle?
I'm not gonna lie, I was but he's like, can I go to sports breakfast this year? And I'm like, if
Tim Benson?
you want to, we can figure it out.
Yes.
Sure, I'll be giving him
Who's doing our invocation?
Yeah, where's Bob?
Okay, that's what I need to know. Okay. Looks like we're talking to the choir tonight. How are you? Good. It's good to see you. Is she teaching you well? Okay, good. Welcome to Roundtable.
Yeah.
Okay. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and may you have a great time with your family this month. Okay, we're done. Okay, so if you could come on up, we'll have our invocation first, and Stephen's going to do it.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know that I'm Stephen Devine, I'm the committee chair, and we will stand in for PAC 78 with that. So it's an honor to be here this evening.
Here you go.
Thank you kindly.
That way, we are being live streamed, so that's what this is for.
Perfect.
So I'll shut up.
Thank you guys for welcoming me tonight. Appreciate it. As we continue to navigate our way through the holidays and camp-ins and meetings and traffic and all the fun things, I think we all have a tendency to get lost in the noise. So I wanted to take a moment this evening to calm our minds and our hearts and reflect on our devotion to each other, to Scouting America and to all the amazing communities we serve. So if you could please prepare yourself in a manner in which you choose. Eternal Spirit of peace, known by many names, honored in many traditions, we gather with grateful hearts. Guide us as scouts and as global citizens to seek peace in our thoughts, kindness in our words, and courage in our actions. Teach us to respect every person, to celebrate our differences, and to recognize the dignity that lives in all people. Help us be trustworthy and helpful, brave in the face of injustice, and reverent toward the beauty of creation. May we care for the earth as faithful stewards and serve our communities with open hands and open hearts. When we face conflict, grant us with the wisdom to listen, the strength to forgive, and the compassion to build bridges where divisions stand. Let peace begin with us, spread through our patrols and communities, and reach outward to the world we share. May our steps be guided by goodwill, our efforts shaped by service, and our dreams inspired by hope. In unity, we offer this prayer for harmony among all peoples and peace for our world. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay. Now, if you'll join me, if you could stand. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, then we'll go into the Scout. So, Scout salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Scout sign. Scout oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law. Help other people at all times, keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. As an American, I will do my best to be clean in my outdoor manners, to be careful with fire, to be considerate of the outdoors, and to be conservation-minded. 2. Thank you, Randy. Okay, we are going to need some more roundtable commissioners coming up. And we still have our district membership support. We're looking for somebody for that. If you know of anybody or if you want to do so, please contact Bill or Ross. Now, speaking of Ross, that guy. So, Ross, you've been our district chair for 4 years. In that time, I got to be your troop guide for Wood Badge. He got it at the last minute. I made sure you got to come over because Ross can't see you, the other Ross.
Oh, okay.
So we made sure he got his Wood Badge. So nice job wearing those beads. So yeah, I bugged the heck out of him. So with that, we just want to say thank you for all that you've done for our district.
Well, y'all are welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
One of these days, I'm going to teach you guys how to do the Class A clap. But anyway, so what's going on?
So I just wanted to say thank you. It's kind of funny. I think 4 years, and earlier this year, my wife was like, "Ross, when are you going to be done with district chair?" And I'm like, "I just finished my 2nd year. What are you talking about?" She's like, "Ross, you're going to your 4th year." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I got to get out of it." But time flies when you're having fun, I guess, and it's been really, really fun. I appreciate everybody in this room. I've been honored to serve as district chairman, to serve all of you. I think y'all are wonderful people. You do so much for scouting. You do so much to support each other, to support our mission of developing youth in our communities to be future leaders. It's admirable stuff. So I can't thank you enough for everything that you do. You know, our theme has been Inspire this year, and I've been inspired by you. I do want to thank Greg and Bill Kohler for your support as district commissioners during my time. You guys are fantastic. Tim Davies, Les Shutter, all of our vice chairs. Randy, you are incredible. Thank you. Clay, you're getting there.
Whoa, left-handed compliment.
Who am I missing? District chair-wise?
Can you hear him okay?
Oh, goodness. So thank you guys for all of that. Scouting builds leaders of high quality character, something that's probably really needed right now. And we have found a new district chair of the highest character. And it is with joy in my heart that I announce this evening that Wayne DeBlock has accepted the position of district chair. So, thank you, sir.
I was wondering if I should run away. I've gotten advice on both, run away or stay put.
You are the perfect guy for the job.
So-
You're perfect man.
So anyway, so thank you. So you can all, in your nightly devotions and morning devotions, just remember me in your prayers as we take over. It's not official yet until February I'm voted in. But since Fife House said it's okay, I guess we can announce it. So, moving on. Tonight, we're going to have a safety moment of cold weather safety. Then hot topics will be done by Kyle on the religious emblems and awards. Cub Scouts indoor overnight activities for PAX, and you'll have a special announcement while you're there from Tim Davies. He's going to talk to you guys a little bit. Do you got many people here?
I think it's 2 of us.
Okay.
We'll just chat about Cub Scout stuff.
Okay. And then Scouts BSA, don't freeze your ASM off. And Brad will do that for us. So, cold weather safety. This is going to be quick and short and sweet. If you are driving, if you're driving, put a blanket or two in your car. It's cold out there, and if you get stuck, this is what this is all about. Have some gloves or mittens in your car. Have a compact shovel in your car that you can, do something with, so in case you need to dig yourself out, you'll have some opportunities to do that. When my troop did a Christmas, troop party, Christmas party, my son won one of those. It was in his car all the time. Extra boots, especially if you're driving far distances, because if something happens and you have to walk someplace, you're going to want to be able to do it, get there. You know what? And while you're at it, put some wool socks in those boots. Have some snacks like protein bars or something like that in your car. If you're going to be stuck for a long time, you're going to want to have, you want to not get faint. Another thing which I just thought of, because in Buffalo they had a situation where a 24-year-old woman passed away on the I-90 out there, and the reason she passed away was her tailpipe was not cleared. So if you do get stuck, make sure you clear your tailpipe. And have some water with you and things of that nature. Yes.
Also, kitty litter for the tires.
I thought of putting that in there. I was
And
running
or
out of room.
Snow socks or chains.
Yeah. Yeah. If you, snow socks?
A snow sock is like a chain. It's like chains.
Oh,
it's
cool.
It's just a different style of traction.
Cool. Yeah, that is good. Outdoor events, wool socks, warm shoes, boots, wool hat, just make sure you have a knit cap on there. Warm coat. Also, that goes for, some of those things go up in the car. When I travel, like yesterday I was in 80-degree weather in Long Beach. And my car at the airport had my winter coat in it. So I always have one in the car when I'm traveling for when I get back. Layer your clothes, long johns if you're going to be outside for an extended stay. And honestly, no alcohol. When you're outside, we're all scouts, but we're all adults here too. And, a lot of people, let's have a little something. The Kansas City, the guys were drinking, and what happens is it constricts your veins, blood vessels, and you get colder faster. So just trying to keep you guys safe. So, put up a warm fire, go inside and have a nice warm hot toddy there. What'd you say?
Go have a drink.
That's right. That's what I was going to say. So, and enjoy your holidays. Okay, so that is it on our safety moment. We have some upcoming announcements. Our district calendar, that link still works good, right, Jared?
Yeah.
Okay. I got rid of the link for the beginning because that one doesn't work as well. So we have the Eagle advancement. The new Eagle application was January of this year, and Guide to Advancement was new this year as well. So adult leader recognition is coming. Silver Beavers were just submitted, but now it's time for our district to do some stuff. So District Award of Merit, those are for people that are not only working on the unit level, but they're also working on the district level. The Noble Sage Award is normally for a seasoned leader that in our district that does a lot beyond just the unit. Footsteps of the Founder can be a unit or a district. Spirit of Polaris. And then on the unit level, Outstanding Scouter. So if you, we'll be getting a link out there pretty soon, but Les Schutter is right there, and you can look to him. Oh, by the way, we're going to need somebody else as I move on to do all this stuff. So
Ross is available.
Ross available. Thank you, Kyle. I heard you were too. District Clonderee is coming up. Troop 16 is hosting it January 30th through February 1st. And then the Camporee, just save the date. It's in September. And Troop 444. So Black Feathers stepping up big time. And let's see. I know that's hard to read, but that is the information on the District Clonderee. But if you go to the website. After tonight, this will be on the Google Calendar, and you can find it all. I know we're going to be talking about religious emblems, but the Pray program, God and Me, God and Family, God and Country, all of them are going to be presented and worked on at St. Andrew's United Methodist Church here in Highlands Ranch, and these are the dates we want to get it out to you. So, especially for you in Highlands Ranch. And it's from 1 to 3. New is the 49th annual sports breakfast. We're going to have Garrett Bowles. And Garrett Bowles actually is an Eagle Scout. So that's kind of cool. It will be February 23rd and 2026. And it's early in the morning, 6:30, before you wake up.
And he's the nominee for the Walter Payton Award this year.
Yes.
He won it in 25. He is the Walter Payton.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay.
That's
Oh,
what they say.
he won it this last year?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
for the Broncos.
For the Broncos.
Each team has
Okay, but he hasn't gotten it from the league yet. Okay.
Somebody's keeping track.
But it will be again at the Ball Arena, correct? Okay. Hey, Marie, could you come on up? Commissioners College, Saturday, March 7th, 8 a.m. It will be here. Cost is $30 a person, and we do have the link.
Wait, is it 30?
Yes.
Okay, because I thought we were changing it to something else.
No, we decided we're going on 30. Right, Jared?
Okay, and I'm great with that.
It was in my numbers.
Was it 35 before and went to 30?
Yes.
Because I thought we reduced it some amount.
Okay.
Thank you, Jared, I'm sorry.
Okay, now, I know we have more stuff.
And registration is live.
Okay, I want to let you guys know, this is our new senior DE. I apologize for taking so long to introduce you. She was supposed to be here last month, but,
I have a doctor's note. I was in a car accident, so.
Yep, so she lives in the Springs, comes to us from Pathway to the Rockies,
Pathway to the Rockies, yeah.
So she's a mom of some teenagers. You have twins.
I have Irish twins.
Irish twins.
Yep,
I knew it was close.
yep.
11 months. But anyway, so we're so thankful to have you here. And Asher's happy to have you here too.
I'm excited to be here and to work with y'all. I think I've probably worked with some of you inadvertently through different, oh, hey, there's a microphone. I could get louder if I needed to, because I have 4 children. I have 4 teenagers, so I am definitely a loud person, but I'm excited to be here and work with everybody.
Cool, thank you. Yeah. Marie Claiborne.
Marie.
And you'll see her name up here in a minute, but I wanted to interrupt myself and do the right thing by introducing you. So, thank you. She's from North Carolina.
North Carolina, yeah. So if you can't understand me, I do apologize. Sometimes
No,
I do
you're,
speak
it's
too
not that,
fast, but
it's not that strong.
it will get louder. and
She's from
more-
the Outer Banks,
more
Kill
obnoxious.
Devil Hills. Cool. Okay, Cub Scout Pinewood Derby's coming. I have sent an invitation to Centennial District as well. And Jason Rogers is going to be their incoming district chair. So, so I got to remind him. And we haven't announced the fee yet, but anyway. So December 13th, there is emergency preparedness merit badge to register. There you go. And let your scouts know. It's in a couple days. You still have, it's still open? Okay. So Blue training, I think these dates are all correct now. So if you need blue, let your people know in May and all this. And all this is on the Google Calendar. We put the slideshows up there.
I know.
So, okay. Wood badge. If you don't know what wood badge is, talk to some of these guys that are wearing this. You know what it is. I see that working neckerchief. So it's April 10th and then April 18th and 19th. So 2 weekends in a row. It will be at Peaceful Valley, and just check with Nick Kurtz. And if you know somebody that's interested, give them the information. And here is Leave It Better. That's their theme. We're going to have 2 sessions, session 1 and session 2. I just mentioned Jason. He's going to be a scoutmaster on session 2. I get to freeze my ASM off with him. So no, not in June, but I'll be working with him. So this is a great program for our youth. Oh, come on. There we go. Order of the Arrow. Whoops, I thought I got rid of that. Just remember your dues, and apparently when you go back, I'll have this slide corrected. So, but it was correct on the other one. I've done that 2 months in a row. But anyway, so there is a banquet January 14th, I believe, for the Order of the Arrow. DEs, do you guys have any comments, questions? This one I was supposed to bring you up. Anything?
Yeah, we recently had Colorado Gives Day, so thank you for everybody to contribute to that and support us there.
Okay, so thank you for those on streaming. Thank you for Colorado Gives Days and supporting. We did make our goal, from what I understand. So, right? We made our goal for at least Colorado Gives Day?
I think things are still processing.
I thought I saw a sign, an email that they made their goal.
The council raised $226,000
on Colorado Gives Day. And hopefully they included, for those of us that forgot and gave it on Wednesday.
We should change her email at some point.
What? Oh, it's .org. I'll fix that. Thank you. 2 in a row. .org. See, we really need somebody else to be doing
Jay,
these.
you were just trying to make sure everybody's watching.
Yes, thank you. Our next roundtable, we'll have a safety moment on cyberbullying, and we're also going to have a hot topic will be engaging your charter org, and then there'll be a joint session in this room continuing on cyberbullying, and basically bullying prevention, response, and including with at-risk youth. So, so we want to thank you for that. Kyle, could you give us our hot topic?
Sure.
I couldn't find one
do I
that
need
said
to get
hot
the-
topics, so we're hot
I
topics.
like this. This is great.
So,
You did a great job.
Get a little clicker and everything.
yeah, we got you covered.
Man, high tech. All right. Well, we're going to talk about understanding religious emblems, and Greg was kind enough to hand off a couple to me that I'll show you guys here in a bit. And of course, he hands them off to me, and he's right here in front of me. You could have just given them to me.
I guess I didn't.
All right. So the objectives here, I'm going to try and move through these pretty quick because there will probably be a few questions at the end, and Wayne said I've only got 5 minutes to do this. Actually, he said 30 seconds first. Why Scouting has a religious emblems program, what religious emblems are available, and how do we earn them is what we're going to talk about. So why? The big why. Well, this guy, Baden Powell, once said, I have been asked to describe more fully what was in my mind as regards to religion when I instituted scouting and guiding.
I was asked, where does religion come in? Well, my reply is this: it doesn't come in at all. It's already there. It is the fundamental factor underlying scouting and guiding. He also said, no man is much good unless he believes in God and obeys his laws. So every scout should have a religion. Oh, hey, there we go. Another interesting point, this has been valuable to me on a few occasions as of late. The Declaration of Religious Principles states, the Boy Scouts of America, that's still us, just in case anybody was wondering, maintains that no member can grow into the best kind of citizen without recognizing an obligation to God, and therefore recognizes the religious element in the training of the member. But it is absolutely non-sectarian in its attitudes towards that religious training. If you didn't know, this is on the cover of every youth and adult application that you all signed when you joined Scouting. It goes on to say, its policy with regards to Scouting, its policy is that the home and organization or group with which the member is connected shall give definite attention to religious life. So all this, these last two statements, probably the biggest thing that most people are concerned with is being beat over the head with a Bible or something of that nature. Scouting is non-sectarian. Scouting believes that you should have a belief in God, but how you go about doing that is up to you. So if you are of one faith or another, one denomination of another, we got you covered. Don't worry. Duty to God is also part of the Scout Oath. As to why we would get religious or worry about religious emblems, reinforces Scouting values. I'm not sure this next point, if this is still current or not, maybe, that 2/3 of charter organizations are faith-based. So if you are earning and improves charter organization relationships, if your scouts are earning religious emblems, this is a great time to talk to your charter org if they're a religious institution and say, hey, our scouts are working on this. On Scout Sunday, could we have 5 or 10 minutes at the beginning or end of the service to bring our scouts up and recognize them for the hard work that they've put in on earning their religious emblems? And that's a great way for your charter org to show off what you're doing, and you to them, to let them know, hey, we're not just a bunch of heathens out here tearing up your multi-purpose room once a week or something like that. We're actually doing things that you value. And it has actually been shown, religious emblems have been shown to increase scout retention. So where does it come from? Most of these programs actually come from the religious denominations or faiths organizations. So Catholic Committee on Scouting, the National Jewish Committee on, I forget the exact name, you'll see it here in a minute. There's a lot of these. They all have the American Baptist for Scouting group. They make most of the programs up themselves. And that's who you're going to go to get a lot of the information that you're going to look for. There's also the Pray program. That actually is the most common source that most people go to. The Pray program covers most mainline Christian denominations to one degree or another. There are youth and adult programs, and these programs are recognized by Scouting, which allows us to wear our medals, whether it's a youth medal that hangs off the pocket, similar to the Eagle Medal or the once ubiquitous hiking medals that we all used to get when we were scouts and hang 50 of them down. No. And the knot that you get to wear on your uniform. So I mentioned the Pray program. Those are a list of their affiliations that they have with different faiths from, it's hard to read, sorry. The African Methodist Episcopal, Baptist, Assembly of God, Church of God, et cetera, et cetera. The ones I highlighted, they actually have designated programs for. So if you are Catholic, Eastern Orthodox, or some flavor of a Protestant Christian, they actually have a program just for that. Most of these others will fit into one of those programs somewhere, but particularly the Eastern Orthodox and the Catholic programs, Pray is where you go to get the materials that you need to run this. So the Pray program, praypubs.org, they have 5 levels that are age appropriate. You can start when you start scouting, and you can earn all 5 of them. If you join in kindergarten or first grade, you can earn Jesus and Me. You can go on to get God and Me, God and Family, God and Church, God and Life. Jesus and Me is pretty easy, as one would expect for kindergarten, first graders. God and Me, God and Family, those are probably the 2 that they're going to get covered at St. Andrews in January. My kids did that exact program last year and loved it. It's 5 weeks. Kicked our butts getting out of church and driving from Kiowa all the way up here by 1 o'clock, but we did it, and it was great. They loved it. And they got a medal and a patch, and we'll do anything for a patch, right? So if you earn all, now I will say too, before I interrupt, or let me interrupt myself, they get harder. God and Life, I believe, is equivalent to the only one that was available to me when I was a youth. And it took me a solid year, every Sunday working with my counselor after church. And I have heard from a couple of recipients recently who said the same thing. Man, that was hard. It's a lot of work, and they said it was harder than getting their eagle, and I would say the same. If you get all 4 from the red one on, if you get all 4 of them, you can actually get a cool little pin that recognizes you for earning all 4 of them. So your scouts can earn multiples of these. You still only get 1 knot, sorry. Hey, we've seen that. So, as was mentioned, the National Jewish Committee on Scouting has a host of them, and Greg was kind enough to bring his shofar medal for us to see. So, kind of cool. The adults typically get something that hangs around the neck, whereas the pins are usually the youth medals. The Sikhs have a set of age-appropriate medals as well, and you'll see my friend Kavneet there in the middle. He actually came out here for Colorado Jamboree last year. And if you were there and you saw the scouts running around with the turbans on their heads, he was teaching them how to do that, and they loved it. They did. They had a booth, and that was part of his outreach and education. There was taking scouts through tying turbans, and they got to wear them around Jamboree and had a great time with it. He was incredibly popular and ran out of those things really fast. Catholic, they have a host of different medals as well that are age appropriate, as well as, and actually, the Talmud Torah award here is above and beyond the age appropriate award. So different faiths will do it different ways. And there's a whole bunch of others. I would encourage you, if you're interested, look these up on the internet. This is just touching on some of the faith medals that are available. And I mentioned the knots. If you earn a religious emblem as a youth, you get that cool purple rectangle with the silver knot on it. And when you become an adult, it's still the medal or the award you earned as a youth, so you keep wearing that knot. If you earn an adult religious emblem, then you get the silver background with the purple knot. Those tend to take some time. They're usually on the order of 4 to 5 years. And they're not earned in the same way that the youth ones are. So I still do not have one, still working on it myself. And then there are the National Duty to God Award and the Council Duty to God Award. And of course, Greg's not going to miss his opportunity to show off that he got the cool council Duty to God Award, which is really awesome. To get these, you do have to have the adult religious emblem of your faith, and then do some work for council and whatnot, or national. And you can get one of these as well. This is actually the first one of these I've seen in person. So, yeah. Yeah, and it looks just like the picture. Imagine that. So, the next question might be, how do you get these? So I mentioned Pray Pubs. You can go on there. There's a lot of, they've got literature for them. There's booklets and workbooks and whatnot that are great. But you hopefully can just have a nice, easy trip to your unit religious emblems coordinator. Who's got a unit religious emblems coordinator in there? Oh boy. Well, then maybe you want to go to the district religious, who is that? Do we have that person? Me? Oh, well. Hi. Or council, that's not me. I'm not the council religious emblems coordinator. You can also talk to your troop chaplain or chaplain aide. If you don't know, your chaplain aide is a youth position. And the chaplain should be an adult position. It does not require one to be ordained in any kind of ministry or anything like that. However, if your charter org is a religious institution, see if your pastor, priest, whoever, rabbi, etc., would be willing to be your unit's chaplain. Again, a great way to improve the relationship there. So you can go to any of these folks, and if your unit doesn't have a unit religious emblems coordinator, I would urge you to work on that. Find somebody who is willing to be that person. It might be your chaplain. They might be one and the same. And that's it. That's me. If you got any questions, feel free to ask away. I do serve as the Peaceful Valley chaplain. It's a council position, but you'll see me there if you go to summer camp. I will be around. Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Yes.
For our.
I better give those back before I accidentally walk home with them.
For the Prairie program that's being offered at St. Andrews, do we know what levels are being offered?
I don't know. I didn't know they were doing it this year.
I think all four.
This
All four.
church, so I will say it's probably not the two highest ones because they're very involved. They take a long time. They're very involved, and they involve service work and that kind of thing. So it's probably the three younger ones, which if we.
I can get you the answer. It comes
Yeah.
from Dave Chart.
Yeah, no, and I'm fine. If we want the two highest ones are targeted to youth in the Scout program.
So these
So
are sixth grade up,
Right.
6 through 8, 9 through 12.
So I want to, if I have members of if those two are being offered and I have members of my troop that want to do it,
Yeah,
I want to invite them.
absolutely.
On the alternative, if they're not being offered, I don't want to clutter my calendar.
Right.
Right, so I just need to know so I can support.
I'll
Yeah.
send them an email tonight.
Yeah, I know this church is where my kids did it this last January. They do it every other year, and they do the three younger ones because they can do it in 5 weeks.
Okay, I'll check on that.
Yeah.
And if not, we'll see what we can do.
The other thing that I'd remind for the two older ones, if you have scouts that are going through, whether it's confirmation or whatever, the youth to adult transition, many religious organizations have, oftentimes those programs are covered in those sets of classes. There's a lot, so they're already doing
There's
the
a lot
work.
of overlap.
Yeah, so let's get them credit for it.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of overlap. My kids do a program called Awana that lasts through each school year, and they get a lot of this done in that. And I still send them to this because it's extra stuff for them to learn.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up anytime.
I think,
I think I exceeded my 30 seconds. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
that's okay. So, it was worthwhile and very well done, so thank you. Cub Scouts is going to go over here. You're going to go talk to them about day camp. So if you're doing Cub Scouts, you can go over there. Otherwise, stay in here and learn how to not freeze your ASM off. So we got to have fun with ourselves, right? So Brad, I will go set up your program.
Okay.
But here you go. And here you go. This will just move you right along.
All right.
Once I get
All righty. Should we go ahead and get started? So, how many of you have seen this presentation before? All right. How many of you think winter camping is a really bad idea because it's not much fun? It's cold and it's wet. Come on, be honest. Be honest. Yeah, okay, I'm getting a lot of this. All right. Let me tell you truthfully, winter camping can be absolutely miserable if you are not prepared and if you do not take the proper mindset and equipment with you. And if you do, it can be an absolutely great experience, okay? What I'm going to try to do is walk you through some basic tips and tricks that you can use to camp and do winter activities comfortably and safely. Very briefly, and those of you that have heard this before, I apologize, but so my first experience with winter camping was with my Boy Scout troop growing up in Spokane, Washington. And we had an UPIC course, which is the Winter Camping Training for Scouts. Our UPIC course was run by Fairchild Air Force Base's Winter Survival School. So Fairchild Air Force Base is where they do their Air Force survival training, both summer and winter. And so we took advantage of that, and they gave us a really good training session every year over a weekend. So that was my first experience. Many years later, I was the program manager for the U.S. Antarctic program, and I spent 8 years as the program manager for all of the U.S. Antarctic program, but specifically as the program manager for the South Pole Station. And through that, I got what they call their Happy Camp training, which is a little more intense than the Boy Scouts, but still very, very good. So when I talk to you about some of this experience and some of these tips and tricks that I'm going to show you, they come from real experience. They come from real life, okay? Now, this presentation, you can go out and get this presentation by going to this website right here. It also has some really good additional information. Most specifically is the Marine Corps training manual for extreme cold weather, which is a fantastic manual. It's about 400 pages. But you can access it, you can download it by going to this Dropbox file. So you can take it, there's a copy of this over there and a copy here, okay? So I started this with, if you're prepared, you'll do well in extreme cold weather, okay? And that's what Baden-Powell teaches us, right? You don't go traipsing off into the woods without being prepared first, okay? What's the first way we are prepared? Well, Wayne went over the first part. If you're going to go out anywhere in your car or by yourself, you take some basic preparations. But we as scouts and scouters know that what our basic preparations are based off of the outdoor essentials, plus obviously for winter, a few more extras. And I'll talk about a few of them. I have a summer outdoor essentials kit, and I have a winter outdoor essentials kit. And they have fundamental different things in them because summer and winter activities and summer and winter issues can be radically different. Okay? So 3 things to keep in mind here. You want to keep active, but not overheated. You want to stay dry, hydrated, and fed, because you're going to be burning energy to stay warm. And bottom line, have fun and be safe. The thing that you need to walk out of this room with is knowing the 3 W's, okay? Wind, wet, warm. Everything I talk about from this point forward is going to be focused around wind, wet, and warm, okay? Wind is the killer. Wind is the thing that will make you cold faster than anything else, okay? It can be minus 20 degrees, no wind, and I've had guys sitting out on the deck at the South Pole Station in minus 20 degrees in shorts. Perfectly comfortable, okay? No wind, okay? Their body has acclimatized, and as long as wind is not pulling the heat away from them, they do just fine, okay? Wet, okay? Wet by itself is not necessarily a problem. If you get dunked into, below freezing weather, yeah, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem because it's sucking all of the energy out of your body, okay? But you couple wet with wind, and you're in double trouble, okay? You're actually better if you're submerged in cold weather. You're better staying in the cold water than getting out of the water if it's windy out. That may sound counterintuitive, but it's actually true, okay? So, where are we going to start here? Plan appropriately for your activities, all right? What are you going to be doing? Think about it. What are you going to be doing? What are the predictions? What are the things that are going to impact what you're doing? Do you have a plan B? Do you have a way of keeping track of where you are and how cold it is, all right? A little wind, of course, can make a big difference. If it's planning to get windy in the afternoon, you may want to plan your day to start short. One of the things we recommend is that if you're out for a day or you're out for a weekend or a week, have a weather radio with you. A radio that works off of the NOAA 7 radio frequencies. They're covering the entire nation, okay? If you do not have a weather radio and are taking a scout group somewhere, whether it's a day hike or an overnight or a weekend, you can check one out from the ESC committee. We have the radios, okay? And we will check them out to you. These are also ham radios, which means that unless you have a ham license, you should not be transmitting on them. However, if you are in an immediate emergency situation, if you have a ham radio or not, you can use a ham radio to call for help. And here in Colorado, there is a specific chain of repeater stations that run the entire length of the state of Colorado that are listening for calls for help. It's called CERN, the Colorado Emergency Reporting Network. And the radios that we check out have all the CERN frequencies programmed into them. So you check out one of our radios, you can carry it with you, you can get the weather, and if you get into trouble, you can call through CERN and get help to you, okay? These guys are volunteers and they listen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
it's a heck of a nice service for us to have here in Colorado, and it is unique, okay? So have a weather radio. I don't care if you've got your own or borrow one of ours. In programming your activities, and again, this is whether you're on a day hike or out for the weekend, you want to plan more breaks than you do in a normal fall, spring, or summer event. And the reason for this is you're going to get tired. Cold weather is going to sap away energy because you're burning energy to stay warm, okay? You're going to be dehydrated, all right? We do not recommend drinking cold water. We recommend that you have a station set up to provide warming fluids, okay? And again, we've got little coffee messes or drink messes where it's very easy. In fact, I carry a stove, a pot, and a couple of cups in here along with bouillon, dried peanut butter, freeze-dried peanut butter, and other supplements to put into warm water, okay? You're going to warm someone up faster putting warm fluids into them than you are by doing any other technique, okay? You can rub their hands, you can add, put them in a room with a heater, but a warm fluid into them is going to be much more effective, okay? So plan to have a warming station. Now, if you're on a hike, carrying a big warming station may not be practical, but as I said, in here, I've got a cup, or a pot, a little stove, and a couple of cups. So it's very easy to set up, oh, let's take a 15, 20-minute break and warm up, okay? Instead of drinking from your canteen, let's get some warm fluids into you, all right? And I can't stress this enough. Leading up to the event, during the event, always have a plan B, okay? We're going to go so far on our hike. If the weather turns, or if we're hiking in and we're finding the snow is getting progressively deeper than what we planned, don't think you have to keep going forward. Have a plan B. Go home, all right? As simple as that. Go somewhere else. Get inside, all right? Don't be afraid to call it if you have to. It's much wiser. An example of this, last Wednesday was our ESC team scheduled training for Stop the Bleed, one of our key courses that we give every year, free course, trauma first aid. First snowstorm of the season, right? More dangerous to drive on the first snowstorm of the season than any other time. Why is that? Because even seasoned drivers are not yet mentally set to drive in iffy conditions, okay? So there's traditionally more accidents on the evening of the first snow than there is any other time, okay? So we called the meeting. Simple as that. It was safer. I've already gone through this one. Hot foods and drinks, cocoa, soup, tea, coffee. Honey is one of the most effective items to carry. I buy these little honey sticks, okay? I carry them summer and winter, all right? Because they're super fast energy. Make sure that whoever you're giving them to is not allergic to honey. There's more often peanut butter than honey, but nonetheless, warm these things in a little warm water, and oh my gosh, talk about a pick-me-up, okay? It's warming, it's energy, it's great, okay? And you can stick 6 or 7 of these into a cup of warm water and get them pretty nicely toasted up for your kids, all right? Huh? I buy these at Murdoch's in this pack, okay? You can also get them online at Amazon. Yeah, just like the freeze-dried peanut butter. I can't push freeze-dried peanut butter better or more. It's just amazing good stuff. And the nice thing about the freeze-dried peanut butter is you pour water into a cup and then you start adding the powder. You can make it as thin and as thick as you like. So you can make it a very thin powdered peanut-flavored drink or a very thick paste and put it on a cracker or something else. So freeze-dried peanut butter is pretty cool. The other thing about these honey sticks is they're a wonderful antiseptic and burn cream. They're like an amazing natural first aid item. That's why I always carry a bunch of them in any of my kits, okay? I cannot stress enough to be prepared for kids to be wet because they've been putting their hands into God knows what. So spare socks, gloves and liners, scarves and hats, having spares, and a plastic bag to put the wet ones in. I traditionally, when I was a Cub Scout leader and a Boy Scout leader, I would traditionally go to Goodwill and buy a package of 10 cotton inner lining gloves and just carry them. Package of 10, I think, when I was doing this were a couple of bucks. I saw them today, they were 10 bucks. Or a couple of weeks ago I saw them. 10 bucks, you know, and a spare hat or two, you know, as ugly as you want them. But it's, as a scout leader, it's a really good investment because your kids are going to get soaking wet. They're just, sure, yeah, I've just always gone to Goodwill. I hate heat packs. I hate them, okay? They're dangerous, all right? And the thing is, you can carry them in your pack, and for some reason or another, the cellophane will tear, they'll get heated, and when you need them, they won't work, all right? They're very unreliable. Using them is dangerous because too often people will buy them in gross and think, oh, if I get cold, I'll just stuff one in my glove. Do you know how many burns have occurred because they've put a heat pack directly on their skin? These things get hot. It's a chemical reaction, okay? So if you're going to use the heat packs, make sure to wrap them in a handkerchief, your neckerchief, your something, one of your wet socks. Better to have that wrapped up in something than to risk putting them directly against skin or inadvertently against skin. Okay? I just recommend don't carry them. Just don't have them. Warm water bottles. Okay? We talk a little bit about water bottles, but they're very effective. Now, let's get into the science of this. Most of your body heat will leave you through the top of your head. It's the most exposed portion. Where are the exposed portions of your body? Your face and your head, your hands and your wrists, and if you're a Cub Scout or a Boy Scout, that intersection between your pant leg and the top of your boot, okay? Those are going to be the places that get cold. Those are the places you as a scout leader want to keep in mind, okay? So we all know about layering, okay? Let's get back to the wind, wet, warm concept, okay? So layering is a good example of wind, wet, warm. I have two of these types of jackets. It's a shell, okay? I'm not depending on this to warm up me. I'm depending on this to do a couple of different things. First of all, to keep the wind and the wet off of me from the outside, all right? So this has some features that anytime you buy a winter jacket, you should make sure that you've got. The first and the most important is called a weather strip, okay? If your jacket zips up without a weather strip, this is not an effective jacket for winter wind. What's going to happen? That wind is going to find the little tiny breaks between the zipper pieces, and you're going to get cold, okay? And you're going to have this cold stripe right down your body, okay? So a winter shell with a wind strip, all right? Number two, make sure that you've got good closures at the wrists, okay? So my preference is to have the types that do this. I'll show you gloves in a little bit. But this closes down the wrist, all right? It doesn't prevent the thing sliding up like this. And you know as well as I will, you're going to turn around and you're going to see some scout walking around like this, all right? With the number one exposed part of their just generating a path of coldness, okay? So the next, a really good thing to have is the skirt at the bottom. So this closes off, and make sure you don't get wind or wet coming up that skirt, okay? So these are features that really make sense. Now, there's a reverse issue to this, and that issue is getting too hot inside that you start to sweat, okay? It's your body's natural reaction. You're going to sweat in the armpits, you're in the crotches, and you're going to sweat around your face, okay? Wind, wet, warm. So you're now wet, okay? Inadvertently, but you're wet. So any wind that strikes you is going to be twice as effective in getting you cold, okay? So you want to make sure that the jacket has some way that you can release some of that heat. Now, the most obvious way, of course, is to take an inner layer off if you're too active, or to unzip a little bit, but then you're exposing yourself to wind and wet. Okay, so the other thing that you can do is to have strategically placed vents in the jacket to help relieve some of that weather. The last item, of course, is to have an effective way of keeping your face and your head warm, okay? So this is great for wind and wet, but not terribly good for warm. So, well, let me, the other part. The other problem with this, of course, is I can't see a thing. Not a thing. So you need to have some way of moderating that. Now, if it's not too cold out, this will work very well, okay? The only thing I now have is exposed is the very front of my face, okay? Or, if it gets colder, having a good, as Wayne said, a good stocking hat. I am not a fan of wool stocking hats. Wayne was commenting that a wool stocking hat is a very good idea. The problem with a wool stocking cap is I've never found one that doesn't itch. And if it itches, your kids are going to take it off because they don't want to be itchy. Okay? So you're better off. A knit. Okay. I'll give you that one. Okay? But if you've got something that's comfortable and pulls down well, that's going to work a whole lot better than having one that they won't wear. Okay? You'll notice that these go right into the pockets of this coat. And stay with it. One thing I do not recommend at all, stay away from, this is not a good idea, are these neoprene face masks. First of all, you're going to look like somebody out of a horror movie. Okay? But worse is our bodies are designed to expel moisture. It's what we do. Okay? And so what happens is you're expelling moisture out as you breathe. Hopefully you're breathing. Okay? If you're breathing, you're expelling moisture. In cold weather, what happens? That moisture freezes, and it freezes all over this, and now you've got a source when you breathe in, you're already supercooling that air that you're breathing in. Not a good idea. I also recommend gentlemen with beards. I've got some great pictures of the South Pole where their beards are literally, they have a contest, quite frankly. How much can I build that beard up with frozen ice? It's pretty frightening. So I'm going to talk a little bit about gloves. And I have to find the other gloves. Everything is hermetically sealed and neatly packed. All right, gloves. Mitts are going to be warmer than gloves, but mitts are very difficult. Mitts are warmer because they keep all your fingers together. They're very difficult because they keep all your fingers together. Better off with gloves. Now, I like gloves that have a couple of different features. The first feature is they have a good gauntlet. Look how good the gauntlet is here, okay? It's going from the wrist all the way down to the forearm, all right? So when I put my sleeve in here, even if this gets pulled up, it's got to go up an awful long way before I start to expose skin at this most vulnerable part, okay? You can even moderate that more by having a locking strap that locks the glove in place. This is my recommendation, okay? The other thing about gloves is you want to invest in really good glove liners. Your hands are going to sweat. You want to be able to have a glove liner that you can pull on and off, okay? You can buy expensive ones, you can buy cheap ones. This is a very expensive one, okay? And this is made out of a mylar material so that any heat that's generating out of my hand hits that material and reflects back into my hand. As I'm holding it here, my hand is heating up. I can feel it heating up, okay? These work incredibly well, but you've got to be aware you don't want them to get so warm that you overheat, okay? I use these a lot. There's another item that I love. It's called either a baklava or snod, okay? And basically, it's just a tube, okay? I love these because they're so flexible. In this position, I'm sealing off that section where the jacket meets your head, okay? I've now got this tightened off so that no cold air, no wind or wet is going to get down in here. But I can pull it up. Now remember I said it was bad to cover your face because it's going to get moist. You don't keep it like this. You're only using it when it gets super windy or need, and then you can pull it down. Or you can do this, which is also incredibly effective. And I wear these with a ski helmet, and so now I'm protecting my forehead. When I put the ski helmet on, I'm protecting my face if it gets windy. I can pull it up. So a snod is, or baklava, not baklava, which is a wonderful Greek dessert, but a baklava. So let's move on. Unless there are questions. I move right along here unless there's questions. So, okay. So this is going over a lot of things I've just talked about. So I didn't talk about boots. These are my favorite boots. I bought these boots in 1972. I was 15 years old, do the math. These boots are perfectly fine. These are excellent snow boots, okay? Huh?
I can smell it from here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're good. So a couple of features. Solid sole, well insulated, okay? The upper goes up far enough that I can pull a pant leg down around it, and it won't come up and leave a separation between your leg and snow going down into the boot. Very important. I'm not going to do it, but these pull out, these inner boots pull out and can be warmed. You could have 2 or 3 sets. I've never found that necessary, but I've only had to replace the inner liner once. I'd say I got my money's worth out of these. These are Sorels. They still sell them. They're a tad bit more expensive than what I bought back then by about 3 times. I think I spent $55. Believe me, for a 15-year-old in 1971, that was a lot of money. But they have served me well. Another thing you can invest in, I do not recommend this for scouts because they're just going to lose them, are gaiters. And I have a set of gaiters in one of these bags. Gaiters are an outer layer of material that snaps around the boot and then snaps around your leg and puts a cover between the two so you don't get snow coming down into your boots. Gaiters are pretty inexpensive and are very effective. What did I miss here? Socks. So it's real important with boots, and this goes with everything else. It's very important that you don't end up getting something that's so tight on you that it cuts off the circulation, okay? Remember the movie Christmas Story, where they've got the little kid, mom's getting the younger of the 2 brothers ready to go outside, and she's got him so bundled up that he can't move, right? Okay? That kid's going to be freezing cold because she's got him in so much clothing that number one, he's overheating because his body is that way, but number two, she's got the boots and everything so tight that they're constricting the blood vessels. And if the blood can't circulate through the body, it's going to get cold because it requires getting the blood back to the core of your body to warm up and go back out through the extremities. So when looking at boots, when looking at gloves, when looking at sleeping bags, it's really important not to get anything that's too tight. It'll seem almost counterintuitive, but you're better off with something loose as long as if it's loose, it's trapped air and not air that's circulating. Okay? If it's trapped air, you're going to be much warmer than if you've got something super tight with lots and lots of stuff around it. Okay? First aid. Different circumstance than summer or 3-season. You've got to watch out for hypothermia. Okay? Also, injuries, normal injuries that can occur, whether they be a twisted ankle or a cut, will react differently in cold weather. And you should be aware of that. Okay? And some of the differences will be depending on the situation of the cut or the scrape. If it's in the cold, it may not flow quickly. Okay? It may seem trivial because the freeze is freezing and closing down the blood vessel. But when you get it inside to treat it, and all of a sudden it starts to warm up, you may have a gusher, and you didn't realize it, okay? So be cognizant of that, all right? You certainly have more chances for slips and falls, obviously. You have more chances for burn injuries. And this is sad, but it's true. I mean, we started talking about the chemical injuries, the chemical burns by using improper heating techniques. You've got the kids that want to put their feet up next to the fire and catch their boots on fire. And yes, that's happened. I had one camp out where a supposed leader of the event decided to show off and throw lighter fluid on the campfire. He and one of the scouts got to be treated for burns across their faces and the complete loss of their eyebrows. Okay? Guess who got to treat them? That was not fun. And this goes no matter what. Whatever first aid kit you're carrying, before the season starts, check it out. Make sure that you've refreshed anything that you've got in it. And I teach that anytime I talk about first aid kits. It's important that you keep an inventory. It's important that you refresh what's in it on at least a yearly basis.
Do you want to mention, you kind of go through that with the trailer and with the first aid kits we have for the ESC?
Oh, constantly with those. I had a tradition for my scout troop that the first camp out of the year, which was usually our first camp out for the younger scouts, we would clear out the troop trailer and clean everything in the troop trailer and put it back in. It was a get to know your troop trailer and the equipment, and give them a sense of responsibility. At the same time, we would do that same thing with the first aid kits in the troop trailer. Now, our troop trailer, and I recommend this also, we had 3 different first aid kits. We had a first aid trauma kit. We had the traditional first aid boo-boo kit, okay? And then we had what I called the comfort kit. The comfort kit had Pepto-Bismol and Tums and things like that in it, but I kept them separate, okay? And that way it made it easier to renew things. It's just a really good idea to have those 3 separate types of kits, okay? We offer, and I'm just not the ESC team, but we do offer these classes or coordination of these classes, but anywhere. I really recommend you have basic first aid, CPR, and AED. At least one person on your event should have basic first aid, CPR, and AED. It's really a good idea to have also had that stop bleed trauma training. That's for puncture wounds, okay? And then wilderness first aid, I can't say enough about that. It's just a really good thing to have. But if you're going anywhere, basic first aid.
For high adventure.
For high adventure, it is a requirement. Yes, Okay? If you want to know more about that, contact me. Okay? Dehydration. Let's talk about water bottles. Metal water bottles in the winter. A really, really bad idea. Again, let's think about that movie, A Christmas Story. And you remember that scene where the one kid, Double Dog, dares the other one to put his tongue on the volleyball pole or on the dodgeball pole, and he freezes his tongue to the dodgeball pole. Metal water bottle. Have you seen somebody freeze their tongue on the edge of a metal water bottle? I have. It wasn't fun, but I've seen it. Okay? Metal water bottles are flat out a bad idea in the wintertime. There is one very good use of a metal water bottle in the wintertime that I'll talk about later, and it's not the one Bill is laughing about. Okay? Traditional type of water bottle. Your basic canteen with insulation. Works pretty well. Okay? You have to be careful, number one, that you get a good tight seal on it. Number two, if you fill it to the top, you run the risk of having it freezing, and when you open it up, no water. Okay? Better idea. An insulated case with an Nalgene bottle. We always recommend clear Nalgene bottles. Why do we recommend clear Nalgene bottles? So when you're stopping and saying, let's all have a drink of water, make sure we're all drinking water, you can actually see if the water level in your Scout's water bottle is going down or not. Okay? And you'd be surprised how many go, yeah, that was great. Okay. Now, here's the trick. Okay? The Nalgene water bottle into the Mylar case upside down. Okay? That way, if it does freeze, the frozen part will be down here, and you still can drink water. Okay? So that's the hack. Okay? I love these Mylar, or these Molly containers. They're very good insulators. They've got little straps here, so if you just want to carry it as a sling element, you want to clip it to something. It's got a front pocket where I keep, fluids, enhancers, and water purification tablets. One of my favorite water bottles is counterintuitive. These. Okay? And why do I like these? First of all, they're very simple. Second of all, I can put them in an inner pocket and they won't freeze. Okay? They fit very nicely in your Scout pant cargo pocket. Okay? Or in the inner pocket of your jacket or coat. Okay? They've got a real nice nozzle. One of the problems with using an Nalgene, of course, is you tip it back too fast, you get water spilled all over you. And that's, counterintuitive to wind, wet, warm. Okay? So just some things to consider with water, all right? Keeping going, keep it simple. Size of the person. Oh, so another one that you can use are the bladder style in your outdoor gear. However, you run the same risk of having it freeze. So here's a hack for that. Encase it in an insulated bag, little plastic bag, and that will keep it from freezing. The other part is these little bite valves. You want to keep them inside. You don't want to leave it out trailing because what will happen? It will freeze. Okay? So you take your drink, you blow in it to push all the water out, and then you put it back into the pack. Okay? To keep it from freezing. And I'm all over the place. Okay. Carry snacks. I already talked about the honey sticks. When you're planning your meals, Be considerate to what's going to happen later, okay? No beans, no chili, nothing that's going to force your scouts to have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom out in the freezing cold. Nothing that's going to make your other scouts want that scout to go outside because they're gassing them out. Famous story up at Camp Tahosa, cold winter night, and our scoutmaster thinks the greatest idea in the world. He's going to provide chili and beans and hot dogs for dinner for everybody. The adults slept in one of the old cabins up there. It was horrible. Absolute, and I won't tell you the best part of the story. You'll have to ask me, but it was really, really bad. Take way more food than you need. Almost double it. Because you're going to be surprised at how hungry everyone's going to be. Okay? Warming drinks. I've already talked about that a little bit, so I won't belabor this to keep on going. Trail mix dried fruit, energy bars, honey sticks, meat sticks, powdered peanut butter. All really good ideas to pack as snacks. And don't be afraid to offer snacks throughout the day and even into the night. Okay? Sun protection. You'd be amazed how many people get sunburn on their face and cheeks in the wintertime. Okay? Take sunscreen, especially if you're going to be in snow. Okay? Take good sunglasses. The fit-over styles work pretty well. Okay? Sunscreen. I really swear by these little sticks of a more solid sunscreen that you can put under your, on your cheeks and across your nose. Those are the most prominent areas. They don't weigh very much. They're pretty easy to carry. Tents. We're getting down to the end here. Tents. We've all heard about 3-season and 4th-season tents, but do you really understand what the difference between a 3-season and 4-season tent is? The number one difference is no difference at all. Neither one of them are designed to keep you warm. Shock. Neither one is designed to keep you warm. I've heard of insulated tents. I've never seen one. And I do have 2 tents that have stoves. I'm not including that as part of this, okay? A tent with a stove is a totally different situation. Tents are designed to keep the wind off of you, keep the wet off of you, and so that you stay warm, okay? The difference between a 3-season tent and a 4-season tent is a 4-season tent does a much better job of keeping the wind and the rain off of you. The rain fly will go all the way to the ground, not stop at 3/4 of the way. It will have a vestibule that you can use to cook in if you have to, but also remove muddy clothing. A 4-season tent will have a much stiffer rigging system, ribs or poles. Okay? Aluminum is better than fiberglass. Fiberglass will freeze in the winter and snap. Aluminum will not. Okay? Vents. So this is real interesting. How many of you have been in a nice tent overnight and found the inside of your tent covered in frost in the morning? No? Oh, okay, I'm seeing a few heads nod, okay? So what's happening is you are breathing. That's a good thing, okay? But as you breathe out, you're expelling moisture. If your tent is not properly ventilated, that moisture has no place to go. It's just going to stick to the side of the tent, and it's going to freeze, okay? So how do you prevent that? Well, it seems counterintuitive, but a good 4-season tent will have really, really good ventilation to it. Now, here's a hack, and this is new, and it's very counterintuitive. If you are experiencing that your tent has got a lot of hoarfrost on it in the mornings, get a small fan. Okay? Because what's the small fan going to do? It's going to take that air and it's going to pressurize it to more than what's outside, unless there's a high wind. Okay? And it will expel that moisture through whatever ventilation there is. Okay? Again, it may seem counterintuitive. I wouldn't have the fan blowing in my face, But by increasing the ventilation, you're going to get rid of that moisture. Okay? It works. So, varying ground cloths. So often I see a fail where somebody will set a tent up and they'll put down their ground cloth, and the ground cloth is 2 to 3 inches larger than the tent. Okay? What you're doing there is you're building a path for water, whatever moisture might be in the air, to go right under your tent. Okay? You want the ground cloth to be 1 inch or 2 smaller than the footprint of the tent. Now the cheap hack is get some Tyvek. Tyvek is the vapor cover that you'll see people put on their homes before they put the siding up. Okay? Tyvek weather vapor cloth makes an absolutely fantastic ground cloth. Okay? It's inexpensive. You can cut the Tyvek to the shape that you need for the tent that you have. Again, 1 or 2 inches smaller.
Small pieces of that. 'Cause I looked at Home Depot, the big roll, and it was a ton of them.
You drive by a construction site. You dumpster dive. I dumpster dived maybe 15 years ago and got a good roll of Tyvek. And I finally used it up here last summer when I bought a new tent. Okay? Yeah, you dumpster dive for it. You can order it online in smaller rolls. But yeah, it's a great trick. Also, snow stakes. I'll just let you do that online. Okay, I'm going to go a little over. Sleeping bags. I'll skip right to the hacks. I don't care what sleeping bag you have. You can make it warmer. Okay, you can make it warmer by doing a couple of different things. Number one thing is don't make whatever you do such that the sleeping bag is tight around you. The sleeping bag keeps you warm because it has dead air. So as your body expels heat, you want that heat trapped and as best as possible released. You can do that. The first, of course, obviously, is buy yourself a blanket. Again, I do not recommend wool because it's itchy. I like cotton. These work really well. Just wrap it around yourself and get into your sleeping bag. You want to be a little more expensive, you can get a liner. Okay? Those are cheap. Another nice thing about liners is you take it home, you've gotten it a little sweaty, you can run it through the washing machine. You don't have to run the tent through the dry cleaners. You want to get real expensive, just like those glove liners I have, you can get a sleeping bag liner that does the same thing. These are, what, 60, 70 bucks now. Number one hack of all, if you want to improve the temperature in your sleeping bag, is a space blanket. This is not your cheap Mylar emergency blanket. This is that old traditional space blanket. Green or red on one side, Mylar on the other. You lay it down on whatever sleeping surface you're going to use, with the silver side up. Put your sleeping bag down, wrap yourself in it, and it will reflect the heat that leaves your sleeping bag right back into it. This is a $20 solution that I guarantee you will give you 15 to 20 degrees. Okay? Now, the two other things that you can do, number one is change your clothes. Your clothes will be sweaty, especially your socks and your hat. I carry a specific hat for sleeping in. This is all this hat gets used for. It pulls down, it's full of cotton. And I have a specific pair of really ugly socks to remind myself to change my damn socks. Okay? A hack that you can use with a water bottle, a metal water bottle, fill it full of hot water before you're going to bed. Do not throw, because you don't want to burn yourself or your sleeping bag. You take the sock you've been wearing all day and you put the water bottle into that sock. And then you make sure it's really tight so it doesn't leak, and you put it into the bottom of your sleeping bag. Okay? That's the hack. All right? I'm out of time. I would talk about sleeping bags. Many of the same features that I talked about in jackets are included in the sleeping bag. Having a good hood that draws down. having a collar in the sleeping bag so that as you sleep, it's closing off any air coming in and out from here. Having a good storm flap to keep it from getting cold along here, and to have lots of room in the sleeping bag so that your feet are not cramped down, so having a box foot. This sleeping bag is a part of a 3-combination system. You get a summer sleeping bag, you get this 3-season bag, you get a bivy sack. It's U.S. Army surplus. Right now they're going for between $125 and $175 used over the internet. Okay? It is practically, it's one of the 3 things I recommend purchasing. Okay? I have a specific knife that I recommend purchasing. I recommend a specific ham radio to purchase, and this sleeping system. It's called the U.S. Military ECW, Extreme Cold Weather Sleeping System. It's the only thing I recommend. When I was buying sleeping bags for the South Pole and for McMurdo Station's Pegasus Air Force landing field, they wanted me to buy $800 custom-built sleeping bags from New Zealand. I said, bullshit. We bought these. I got them, number one, I got them for free because military to National Science Foundation. And these are good for minus 55 degrees below zero. Now, you won't sleep comfortably at minus 55 degrees below zero, but you'll live, okay? That is the rushed version. I will come as time allows to your troops and give this presentation, if time allows. And I present it a little differently for kids, okay? That's it. Again, you can get this presentation by going to that QR code information. I've gone over this very quickly. Hopefully you've gotten, even those of you that have heard this 3 or 4 times, have gotten something again out of this time.
Do you want me to put this, give it to them to put on the...
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. But also go to the QR code because there are other good information there. If you come out of here, the first thing to purchase is that space blanket. Okay? And that's it. This is the other hack that Bill was laughing about. I do not recommend this. I don't put it in presentations anymore. It's got some great stories, though. Huh?
The empty water bottle?
The water bottle for urination.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've used that hack, it's helped.
And that's why you don't use a metal one.
So you know where this came from? Was the South Pole. Quite literally, Nalgene was seeing a huge uptick in the purchase of Nalgene bottles being shipped to the South Pole. And so they asked, why are you buying so many Nalgene bottles? And they were very blunt. They said, number one, they make a great water bottle. And number two, the South Pole has got very limited sleeping space. So construction workers and college students that are working up there on science projects, they have to camp in Quonset huts. They're called Janeways. They are a canvas-sided facility that have rows of bunks in them and a jet fuel-fired furnace at one end. The bathroom is outside about 50 yards away, okay? So if you have to get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, you've got to put everything on because it's literally minus 50 degrees outside and trudge out to that bathroom. So that's when they started doing this. All right, enough of that. So there I am at the South Pole, February 8th, 2010, the 100th anniversary of Scouting, of Boy Scouts. Any questions? Observations? Anybody have additional information or contrary information? Like, Brad, are you nuts? Never do that.
We already know the answer to that.
Ah, you're wrong, I'm right.
Thank you for doing that.
Yes?
So when I was in Scouts, we did winter camping at Fort Laramie up in up in Wyoming, and it was the most miserable experience I think I'd ever had, you know? So last year, our scouts wanted to go winter camping, and we decided to do a bunch of research and see, you know, what the different options were for people who couldn't necessarily afford an expensive sleeping bag and that sort of thing, you know? And we had, I think, 3 or 4 sessions, you know, meetings where we actually talked about this stuff and brought in people talking about it.
That's great.
And a couple of things that we did that were slightly different is we talked about how you can double bag it, but you need to be careful. And so what I did for my double bagging is I think I have like a 20-degree bag or something like that that's a rectangular bag, and then I have my mummy bag inside of that. You don't want to do a mummy bag inside of a mummy bag because it'll be too constrictive, but if you put a mummy bag inside of the other one, and then you can do a liner as well, you know, that obviously helped quite a bit, you know. And so anyway, those are a couple of things that we did. And it was a great experience. It got below zero. We got our polar bear award and stuff. It was supposed to be warmer than that, but you know, the kids all had fun, and everybody who followed this stuff actually stayed warm, so yeah.
That's a really good approach. Again, and the right parts is you don't want it so constricted. This ECW system works exactly that way. You're putting the summer bag, the winter 3-season bag inside the summer bag.
Right.
And then the bivy sack over it. Thank you.
I always enjoy it.
I always learn.
Me too. Oh. Take it. Oh, there we go.